I hate you.
It's taken several months for me, but I'm finally getting invested in one of Cody Rhodes' stories. Since he won the title, I just feel like I can't get into any of the big Cody storylines because everything has just felt sort of put together and no real urgency and no real question mark of whether or not he will retain the title. Can he overcome the obstacles of AJ Styles, Logan Paul? There was nothing. Kevin Owens in the first match. Gunther for the big Crown Jewel Mega Championship / Big Ring. And obviously his intertwined relationship and story arc with the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, the tag match with Roman Reigns. Up until now, where we are with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes heading to Saturday night's main event one-on-one, up until this point recently, nothing was really clicking for me. I feel like now they are finally starting to turn a corner where a fan like me is able to get invested and get more interested in Cody Rhodes' storyline. I'm not saying that Cody hasn't had good matches. I thought the matches with AJ Styles were fantastic. The cinematic bloodline stuff with him and Roman Reigns finally coming together has been an interesting story piece. But with Kevin Owens finally turning heel, or at least having a change of heart and becoming the aggressor and going after Cody Rhodes for everything that he has done, blaming Cody, pushing back on Cody Rhodes for being the one to tag with Roman Reigns after everything that has happened with the Bloodline, which is a really cool little story piece in there because you can understand where Kevin Owens is coming from. He's not necessarily wrong. We've seen Kevin Owens get even more aggressive by busting out a pile driver on Randy Orton, taking him out of action, which I think was an excellent move. Was the pile driver very, very simple and all that? Yes, absolutely. But it shows you how within wrestling, within WWE, you do certain things, you can really tell an interesting story. On AEW, I could see like a guy take 3 pile drivers and Canadian destroyers and they just get right back up. And that doesn't help me get invested enough. But when I see wrestlers from any promotion do a move that is banned or they use it properly in a storyline, it makes sense and they sell it, I'm way more invested, and I'm finally invested in a Cody storyline. They have done a long game with this Kevin Owens Cody story. You even had Triple H get involved with Randy Orton talking about how Kevin Owens, this version of Kevin Owens, isn't something you want to mess with. And as a result, we saw Randy Orton take that pile driver. Now I guess the question to all of you is, should this match between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes have happened at Survivor Series? Or is Saturday night's main event the right decision? At first I thought it's really going to leave Survivor Series a little thin. Some of the matches on the card do feel a little bit rushed, LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, but overall they're going to have a great show with 2 War Games matches. And by the time you get to Saturday night's main event, you're going to be able to tell hopefully a very compelling story between Cody and Kevin Owens. But it shouldn't end there. And one of the things that is very interesting to me is what path they will take from Saturday night's main event all the way to WrestleMania. And what will they do with the characters of Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton? So Saturday night's main event, some early predictions here, I guess. Kevin Owens versus Cody is straight up one-on-one, but these two have already talked about how they're not going to hold back. Kevin Owens held back in his first match with Cody Rhodes, not unleashing a ton of pain. What I think they should do. So number one, I ultimately don't think Cody's going to drop the title at Saturday night's main event. Should he? Kind of. If it were me, I think WWE should put the belt on Kevin Owens. Will they? Highly unlikely. It's Cody Rhodes. You're putting more and bigger obstacles in front of him, which is excellent. And I think a super powered, pissed off Kevin Owens with the title is the right move to make. I love to see Kevin Owens with the title. I'd love to see Cody chasing again. For me as a fan, I'm not keen on more long title reigns, because we experienced everything with Roman Reigns, and it had its peaks and valleys along the way.
Don't clap. Don't clap.
But we have done the extremely long title reigns, and I don't need Cody to hold on to that belt forever. That's why on Raw with the world title, I've enjoyed it a little bit more, because it feels like at any given point, somebody else is able to step up to the world title and get that thing. Versus with Cody's storylines, I never feel like it's in jeopardy. So at Saturday night's main event, to me, Kevin Owens should win that title. But assuming that he doesn't and Cody retains it, I think they need to keep that momentum going. Randy, I suspect, is going to be written off all the way through Saturday night's main event, selling the effects of the pile driver. To me, Kevin Owens should take out Cody Rhodes. End the match in like a DQ, or if Cody gets like a sneaky roll up after they just dummy each other across the arena. It needs to be vicious, bloody. That match, they need to take it up a notch. And I think at the end of it, Cody Rhodes will retain, but you need to see Kevin Owens go unhinged. And by that, I mean bust out a pile driver on Cody Rhodes or do the apron power bombs, like a bunch of them, and decimate Cody Rhodes to make the babyface feel like he's in jeopardy and Kevin Owens is this crazy, vicious, nasty heel. But then what do? My question, and the thing that I always kind of enjoy with WWE and just with wrestling, is always like, okay, well, what's next? What's gonna happen next? And even looking beyond Saturday night's main event, we have the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and then WrestleMania. I don't think at this point, in the way this feud is going between Cody and Kevin, I don't think you can just wrap it up at Saturday night's main event. Because if you do, and let's look at that, if you just sum this thing up and Cody hit 3 or 4 crossroads on Kevin Owens, he defeated him, and that's the end of it, then what? And mostly, then what for Cody? Are you gonna slide Cody back into the Bloodline story, or do you have something else in mind? And we'll talk about that in a second. But if they can keep this thing going past that big show on NBC, you could maybe set up a final match at the Royal Rumble. And you could do a blow off in a steel cage match, for example, or a last man standing, but they have done a lot of stipulation matches with Cody before. And this is where I feel like it would be a good idea if we explore Kevin Owens winning that belt. Saturday night's main event is not a PLE, but they are trying, and I think they're going to try to build this thing up to be like a PLE or pay-per-view. It would be way more intriguing if Owens got the title off of Cody, only for Cody to then either win the Rumble, win at Chamber, and he could get the title back before WrestleMania to really build intrigue and make this story very just top notch and make it feel like the #1 story, because right now it's Bloodline. Your top champion is feeling like he's rolled down in the card a little bit, and that's okay. But to build that thing up where I am sitting on the edge of my seat, Kevin Owens hitting a stunner, apron power bombs, and a pile driver to end the reign of Cody Rhodes before Mania has way more intrigue than just Cody retaining and moving on to somebody else. I think what you can do is Kevin Owens wins, gets the belt, and Cody can chase. And you bring in the element and the X factor of Randy Orton. This could lead to 3-way match at WrestleMania, Cody, Randy, and Kevin Owens, because they all got problems with each other. And it would be an excellent story that you can tell from January all the way through to WrestleMania. You can hot potato the title just a little bit. I don't think you want to have Cody win the Rumble necessarily again, doing it for a 3rd year in a row. We got to change that thing up. But you could have Cody win the title at Elimination Chamber. It's not unheard of. And then Cody can go off to fight his #1 contender. But another thing I can totally see happening is the story splinters off. Cody Rhodes is triumphant over Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens will then spiral off and spin off and go have his one-on-one feud with Randy Orton. I see that as the most likely scenario. Owens loses ultimately and doesn't get the title because of Randy Orton making this comeback, and you tell that story. Because all of last year, it was Randy Orton and Kevin Owens as best friends, teaming up, tagging together, being at WrestleMania together. At WrestleMania 41, it could be the two of them going head to head. No title, just a pure grudge match. And you get Randy Orton to be triumphant over Kevin Owens. That's a big blockbuster match in itself. Now, what do you do with Cody? So if Cody is not involved in that, he's kind of wrapped things up and he's still a little bit involved, but not so much. Cody would probably do a couple of things, right? He would be involved with potentially the Bloodline story again. Now, for me, I kind of want Cody to just move on temporarily. They can always circle back. They can always do that. But I think that WWE right now, they have a lot of moving pieces in place to give them options, because maybe they don't know if The Rock is going to be at WrestleMania or not. And so right now, I feel like they have a lot of moving pieces just to cover their base in case the final boss isn't appearing. Because you could do Cody Roman one more time. You could do Cody versus Randy for the title, Cody versus Kevin, the triple threat like we mentioned, or you could be doing John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, and John Cena trying to break that record of Ric Flair. It's a rumored match right now, and it would be John Cena's final WrestleMania. Big moment would be going up against the biggest champion in WWE, Cody Rhodes. Could he win? Debatable. Be really cool if he did. And John even comes up short. Well, it's a big moment for both of them. Cena raises Cody Rhodes' hand in the air, they shake, and they move on. And that's if kind of like Cody is in the middle of all of this and not really having a clear path to Mania. John Cena is a good one that you could pull the trigger on. That to me would leave Kevin Owens and Randy Orton having their one-on-one match as well. And then Rock Roman, that's Bloodline world, is over there. But the thing that has me intrigued right now is how they are presenting Kevin Owens. And that's why I would like to see him become champion. It's way more compelling than Cody staying as champion all the way to Mania. And if you did a triple threat, you can have Cody lose the belt and not be the one who's pinned. You could have Kevin Owens get the title off Cody at Saturday Night's Main Event. You could have Randy capture the title at WrestleMania, and Cody is then chasing, because Cody Rhodes, as that underdog babyface, feels way more compelling than the guy at the tippy top. And I always feel like WWE has a little bit of a problem when they're trying to book babyface champions. I really like that there's unknowns, X factors, and we're just not sure of how this is going to play out. But after months of watching SmackDown, I'm finally intrigued about what's happening with Cody Rhodes.